afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero Strike, Defender of the Fatherland, off here to a 1 vs 1 on Crossing in the Woods. Between the south, you got LimaOscarMike here fighting for the Soviet Union, the 75th Rifle Division. Versus in the north, you got Henkajumper fighting for Germany, Deutschland, the 62nd Infanterie Division. Both players roughly around the top 50 with their respective factions. We're looking at Lightning War, Assault Support, Mobile Defense for Double Infantry Panzerfaust versus LimaOscarMike, Scar Motor, Shot Rifle, and Soap Reserve Army with Double Infantry and Mine Bulletins. Double Engineers into Penal Troopers here for LimaOscarMike. Standard stuff with Henkajumper. Seniols aiming for the standard here. MD-42s and Grenadiers to work with his Pioneers. Quick move here with the Engineers up the far east, basically just moving heads that way, sort of quickly link up here, a bit more efficient capping order, if you will, here by LimaOscarMike. Very interesting to watch that. You're missing the point, mate. It only works if you get all the points connected. Yeah. Alright. Got MD-42 moving down. They're expecting something to happen, of course, already here thanks to this sort of slight more rush from LimaOscarMike towards the fuel. The MD-42 will not be able to halt that. That's sort of an extent why I can do that, because I can sort of throw off the usual player timings with this. It's guessing it's the Penal Troopers will then be connecting the fuel there. While the other engineers squad then hits westwards. Pioneers move down the centre, wiring off here bits of cover. More Grenadiers around there for Henkajumper and the 62nd Infanterie Division. Grabbing points there. Got the Penal Trooper setting out there. And more wire here, so he's not just wiring off the cover, he's also just wiring off his, even with the wire he's cut, there's still going to not be real cover there for his opponent. There you go, attack into these tier. Engineers versus Grenadiers supported by the MD-42, even as the other Engineers squad is moving westwards here. Penal Troopers moving up here, could flank behind, catch the MD-42 off guard. Switching the MD-42 towards that, looks like the Pioneers spotted it, very good work there, and immediately sets about halting that. Penal Troopers out in the open there, quick retreat, realising they are in a very, very, very bad spot. LimaOscarMike just gets very fast out of there before suffering any needless losses, thusly preserving every single man and only giving them light damage. Very good work there by LimaOscarMike. Grenadiers attacking eastward here towards the house here, and the Engineers firing back valiantly with their mercenary guns against the overwhelming German forces, thusly gaining local superiority. Meanwhile, though, he could then hit the rest of the map. It seems like LimaOscarMike is going to commit more forces to the eastern side rather than say, switch over here and then sort of through here, sort of get behind it that way, outmaneuvering Henkajumper's sort of strong front line. I mean, that could be an idea there for LimaOscarMike. Meanwhile, we've got a scout on the way there, adding some mobility and strength to his forces. Should certainly be very interesting there for LimaOscarMike. As for Henkajumper, it's going to be quite the pain in his posterior. Third Grenadier squad, they're arriving. MD-42 with Pioneer support here, pushing back the Penal Troopers again. 1,200 rounds per minute is nothing to scoff at remotely. Got the eastern fuel pulling their away from the rations, those dirty Marxists. Pioneers pushing ahead, it's just a scout ahead from the machine guns. Looks like going to try and set up zone control here, thusly making it very difficult for LimaOscarMike to do anything on the eastern half of the map. Seems like he keeps forgetting though that Henkajumper there's being a bit active with his MD-42, and there we go, realises it, retreats, and again, not a single loss in this Penal Trooper school. They'll probably soon getting a visit from the Commissar, questioning their devotion to the Soviet cause, and if they realise, that they are Penal Troopers and are thusly expendable. Mortar following up here for Henkajumper, so 3 Grenadiers, MD-42 mortar, thusly a nice little combined arms suite there for him, whereas LimaOscarMike is aiming for the more aggressive tactics. I think he's trying to wait for the MD-42 up there. There you go. He still has to sort of push it with flamethrower because he just tried to rush through that the Grenadiers would pop out and Panzerfaust. Ooh, S-Mine's down. Actually missed that. Very good work there by Henkajumper. Nice aggressive S-Mine. Grenadiers need to be careful. Almost got the Penal Troopers, which also need to be careful. In fact, they probably need to be more careful. At least those are proving that they are devoted to the, Stalinist cause. Yes, you're dying. Good job. So Grenadiers here slightly falling back in the face of the Penal Troopers, but overall I really think that LimaOscarMike needs to commit less towards just these frontal assaults here. Henkajumper needs to use machine guns a bit more as well, but I'll try to put more pressure on the other side. We actually got wire off here to make it harder for him to do this. In fact, he's going to have to take a longer route. Very good work there by Henkajumper, probably realizing again a lot of players are just genuinely lazy and do not like to flank in many cases. Pumels will start the scout car, modify raining down there on the suspected Pumels will position, then up and with the German position, very good, cutting off fire in the centre, also very good. And we got the first doctrine of the match. It is Lightning War here from Henkajumper, opening up for G43 for those Grenadiers, based off the SVT-40 Soviet semi-automatic rifle, which was based off the ADT-36 fully automatic rifle, which turned out to be not very good at all. It had way too much powerful recoil, meaning it broke itself and you couldn't even really land any good shots with it for the most part, making it not very practical. So it was downgraded to the SVT-40, which still suffered from some issues with recoil. Engineer straight into the M42 there though, getting shot at quite a bit aggressively there. But still he's managed to push back LimaOscarMike or Henkajumper's front line. I suppose he could have done a bit more efficient. He had, actually tried to flank outmaneuver and that way force it off the field. But meanwhile though, the engineers doing good work there, achieving that, at least the harassment part. I'd like to make a nice company up here for Henkajumper, opening up for 2-2, half-tax or Panzergrenadiere. I imagine the 2-2 there's going to be the immediate choice here just to deal with the enemy scout car, hunt it down, and that way sort of put more pressure afterwards on LimaOscarMike's troops. We'll have to see what LimaOscarMike chooses in response to this. He's got a 4th penal troop squad on the way there. A lot of Strafnicki here. Manning the lines of the 63rd Infantry Division, or Rifle Division specifically. And it is firing up there on the scout car. Shots penetrating the thin armour. Actually, that's the jump to the 62nd Division, 73rd. Can't quite remember. Oh well. Pioneers going to be setting out their mortars also sneaking about here for Henkajumper. Nothing from the Like to Make a Nice Company as of yet. But there we go, as soon as he can, he does get the 222 scout car. There was also the 223, which was a command variant. That's the 221, which was basically the same scout armoured car, but with just a machine gun. Mortar there blasting it, pushing back the penal troopers. Scout car though nearby. And we got troops there flanking in, making it a bit more difficult here for Henkajumper to maintain a position. Almost got the scout car, there we go, gaining veterans one, but the penal troops doing too much damage. There we go, you got a satchel charge that's going to force them to a position. In the west here, big push as well here. Henkajumper is starting to look pretty weak there. Bit too inflexible there in the face of LimaOscarMike's attacks, refusing to yield ground to the communists. And there you go, got the 222 Pums% running away there as well. Engineers forced off the field, so there you go, doing some damage here to the Russians. Henkajumper dashes forwards. But there you go, we got reserve army for LimaOscarMike calling in the anti-tank partisans with their pilfered Panzerschrecks, putting the 222 into harm's way. Quite a bit of explosive power. He's going to have to get out there without losing it. But he's attacking there. He's also lost a Grenadier squad at some point, meaning he's actually quite short on infantry versus opponent who's got 3 penals per squads. Henkajumper definitely needs to be something there soon enough, otherwise he might be in a bit of trouble. Panzergrenadiers would be a good immediate choice here. Mine's going down this over there, getting spotted by the 222 and might even set the mine off if he's not careful. Anti-tank parts nearby, need to get the 222 out of there. We go, gets away, gets away. No Panzergrenadier, no additional Grenadier here for Henkajumper. And the 62nd Infanterie Division as yet. 73rd Rifle Division falling back. Or 75th, actually, was it? Can't quite remember. I'm not always good with the numbers, in particular with the sort of slightly numbers I can't really put anything on. Which occasionally is what happens with infantry divisions on the Eastern Front, since there's none I can sort of really specifically pinpoint there, except maybe the 1st. Then you got Panzergrenadier here, well, the 78th Storm Division. And there you go, Panzergrenadier though for Henkajumper, some more organised firepower which would take on the Russians. Got the penal troops pushing up the eastern side, Grenadiers there with the G43s, ready to deal with them. Shoot Heinz! Ah, scheiße, they got Heinz! Alright, Helmut's also dead. Fritz! Okay, we run away now. I don't think we can take this for much longer. And there you go, another push up the centre. Grenadier squad they're holding out.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Still, he is a bit sort of numerically outgunned, and that is certainly something he's going to have to fix in later. But there you go, penals there getting blasted. by the Grenadiers, the G43s, with resounding cracks ending the penal troopers' lives. And there go mortars with a resounding thump. Thump the life out of the unit there. There you go, Saltier Panzers looking at these cover up parts of the flanks there. With their Strungers, there you go, Russians arriving. Ooh, bounced up, good shot here for a bomb grenade. Satchel charge off the MD42, it's going to retreating in time. Oh, snap! Oh, he got lucky there. He got really lucky. Impressively enough, the MD42 is forced away there. And the penal troopers themselves are also dispersed back towards their Bolshevik warrens. Well, not really warrens. Point there secured on the eastern fuel point back here. Healing reinforcement going on for Henkajumper. No sign of attack. Or additional infantry or light vehicles. A half-ticket, I think, doing a lot of good. He also needs to do a bit more about the victory points, I think, long term. LimaOscarMike forces them to retreat. No tech up yet for him, though. His base is largely just a congregation of Russian infantry. And there you go, the tank battalion command up. We could actually try and rush ahead for the mechanized armor company and then try to rush out a tank. Grab the fuel point back, grabbing munitions here. Need to put some more pressure on the left flank. Then we can muster there would be good. Got a Pack 40 in the way there. He's obviously expecting his opponent to go for light vehicles at some point. So a Pack 40 there is definitely not a bad choice. He does have the munitions to lay down some terror mines and try to catch up any Russian vehicles with that.
The peg gun is ready for orders. Relief infantry is now available.
Relief infantry, Ostrom there available for Henkajumper and the 62nd Infanterie Division. Draft grenade off there. Pintos pushing straight into the Grenadiers. They're taking minor hits, and there you go, Betty 2 for the Grenadiers. Sehr good for them, sehr good. They need to retreat now, I think. Then again, small chance of wipe. We could also actually interrogate some of the penal troopers, though no one ever does that. Despite, you know, giving a bit of an intelligence advantage over his opponent. We got pushed into the west with the MD42 there. Anti-tank partisans heroically respond to the presence of the Grenadiers with a big fat punch effect. Henkajumper not taking. And LimaOscarMike there with 200 fuel. Could easily again at this point just go for mechanized armor company and then push out a T-3476 fast here. Henkajumper going for more Grenadiers. In an interesting choice there. Would have figured maybe more Panzer Grenadiers or tech up, but instead he's going for another Grenadier squad here versus LimaOscarMike and the 75th Rifle Division, tasked with dealing with the fascists in these parts of the woods. 32 they gain for the Grenadiers, but they ultimately forced away. And we got the 3rd Grenadier squad there. Back in action for Henkajumper. These shots fired. In the west, a collapse there of whatever he was doing. In this case, seemed to have fallen back towards the centre. There you go. Penal troopers rebuffed with the MD42. They're a bit too close to each other. Anti-tank partisans continue their hunt for any German vehicles. And Panzers moving in. There we go. Mortar hit as well. In the west, 2-2. Need to be careful not to get too close, but also can certainly put some pressure on the penal troopers and force them away. LimaOscarMike needs to go for the T-70. Henkajumper could be taking up, but he isn't. LimaOscarMike still not taking up either or building any light vehicles. He could easily take up again. I mean, he's got so much fuel he could easily afford it. Easily, so I don't feel like that would be the most optimal choice there for LimaOscarMike, just pushing for T-3476 and putting some serious pressure there on Henkajumper, who should also... Oh, I think he is taking up now, actually. Yes. Might soon be some Panzers here for Henkajumper. Shots being blasted away here in the west. Grenadiers versus penal troopers, again a bit bunched up, but we got more G43s lining up on them. Need to retreat that squad before it gets annihilated. Take up halfway done for Henkajumper and the 62nd Infanterie Division. Whoa, no, no! Lima! Niet! Niet! Sikaboyat! No, you're building the same structure again, LimaOscarMike. You're building the same thing again. Oh god. That's one of the worst things you can do. Obviously can happen to even the best, but you know, it feels really bad when you do it. It feels really bad when you do it. You just built 2 tank commands. You're not playing StarCraft. LimaOscarMike, you're not playing StarCraft. I think I'll just call him Lon, to be honest. There you go. We got relief infantry being used here by Henkajumper. Relief infantry, an interesting choice there. Trying to gain some os from there to make up for some of the losses. Fun fact, there was technically a sort of a system for this, you know, replacing troops, you know, in more dire situations. Usually what they do is that they comb the rear lines and form into alarm companies. You know, sort of alarm companies, sort of made up of cooks and whatnot, you know, forced towards the front line, or for that matter, the replacement and training battalion troops. It was very common on the Eastern Front for them to basically pull those chaps on and basically re-echelon troops akin to the Americans there. They also made a large part of the German fighting force, for example, in Arnhem. That's another fun there. Yeah, LimaOscarMike, they're basically realising, oh, pudding, he just built the double tier and to go for Nation 6 there. That never feels good, that never feels good. That is a rather embarrassing move. But we got 2 awesome squads out here for Henkajumper. Some Hilfswillige or possibly other bits there. Taking minor losses, of course they'll only feed more into relief infantry. It'll certainly give him a lot more infantry to push and harass with against LimaOscarMike or Lom here, so that could be pretty good for him if he knows how to use them. The 3rd awesome squad arrives, so he's definitely got his munitions worth here of relief infantry. Combing out the supply lines for whatever power that can be sent towards the front line. Support up there. Also reinforcing healing alongside some Panzergrenadiere. But he should definitely send some of the Ostrom towards the west to just secure, harass, and just force LimaOscarMike to have to sort of either attack towards ways or can, you know, or just defend his own territories. I think that'd be the best choice there for Henkajumper versus LimaOscarMike. Personally, anyways. Support McCall, though, close to done. Gonna do something about here. Alongside some Ostrobmen. And done there. He can actually go for a Panther 4 right now and put some pressure there on LimaOscarMike and the 75th Rifle Division. To the 2 them pulling in against the penal troops out in the open. It's Orchard Cannon honing in on the Russian penal troops. Supported here by a Panzergrenadier squad. Ostrom being dispersed a bit here and there. Some actually being sent towards the west, secure and harass. Very good. Very good. We got the assault coming up here to support LimaOscarMike's front line in the east. In the centre though, we got a really big push there against a few Grenadiers in Ostrom. He's going to need more firepower to really solve that. The MG42 should do the trick, and he could easily be going for a Panzer IV, but seems like Henkajumper is playing for a Tiger. I mean, suppose you could do that, but when you build a support core, it just feels like a waste of tempo and resources to just go for the Tiger instead now. I definitely think you should just push for the Panzer IV, put more pressure on LimaOscarMike when he can do so, and then, you know, go for a Tiger tank. Need to be careful for the troops in the centre though. Might want to keep those Ostrom moving there. Otherwise, assault them falling back in the face of German infantry advancing there. But in the centre, they are giving way, caving in to LimaOscarMike's superior presence in the fight. Their panzers versus penal troopers. Bomb grenade goes off, does a bit of damage, but the assault rifles are the primary workhorse there in terms of delivering it. And there we go. Ostrom forced retreat right past the Ostrom, the penal troopers that is. Carnage TKs firing away. Grenadiers with G43 supporting. Fun fact, the Ostrom had their own specific awards, aka medals, sort of for them. I think there's like 3 degrees over them or something like that for service towards the Germans. Little fun detail there. Those sort of different types of units. There's also cavalry units made up of Ostrom. They were usually, I think, Cossacks, used for security reasons, duties mostly, I believe. That's a little fun side note there. And there you go, he does end up going for the Panzer IV. They cut it out sooner, though, so I do feel that's a bit too slow there for Henkajumper. He's also got plenty of manpower, so a few fuel caches here could certainly support him. He particularly does want to go for the Tiger. Fuel caches are an excellent investment. Excellent. And he's finally building the right structure. He's building the mechanized armor company now. He is finally building the mechanized armor company. So good work there by LimaOscarMike. Lom. Henkajumpers would have got a bit more than 50% of the map here versus Lom though. Ostrom losing a poor soul there to the advancing penal troops. Got one veteran free, one very, very close to veteran free. Got a 2-2 in the west, being pushed back. Panzer IV though is good to go here for Henkajumper. Needs to get into the fight, of course. Needs to do so intelligently and not, immediately get immobilized and destroyed. And East Tippins was pushed back by Ostrom Grenadiers and Panzer Grenadiers, forming up an impenetrable wall for infantry to pass through. His infantry boy can push with the cuff point, though that has been demo charged there. Lom there thinking ahead and preparing for any sort of nasty moves there by his opponent. Very good work there, very good. Got the Panzer round, there we go. Also got the assault gun moving in. Shoots and misses, rifle grenade off. Maybe that's just the G for the free. Occasionally the G for the free makes the same sound, by the way, as the rifle grenade's being fired. That one always confuses me. Always, without fail. Popping the Ostrom into the sniper's nest. I think Henkajumper there might be overestimating the Ostrom's accuracy. Pioneers falling back, 2-2 moving in. And the East here, another push here, straight to Panzer Grenadier and Ostrom and Grenadiers. Once more, the result is a high cost in men for LimaOscarMike. His men being absolutely devastated. Wiped, in fact. Quite a loss there, quite a loss. And certainly a win there for Henkajumper. Was actually throwing a lot of manpower, which really could stand to be invested into fuel caches then. A couple of fuel caches would really just push him fast towards just more armor or a Tiger tank. Also going in there for the cut-off point, straight into the demo charge. Oh, the troops are getting too close. Oh! Guys! Almost wiped 2 entire squads there with 1 demo charge. It's just bloody parts everywhere. LimaOscarMike though able to bring up a T-34-76 to deal with the Germans a bit with there. Henkajumper though really should build caches. If you're finding yourself with 700 to 800 manpower, build a cache, maybe build 2 if you don't have one already. That can really do a lot of good in the long run. LimaOscarMike on the hand's got a ton of munitions. Mines could be something that could really benefit him. He's got the parts there which can lay down mines. Flare tip mines from using these besides regular mines. And there's certainly also the opportunity here for rapid conscription, in which case you can begin equipping all those conscripts with submachine guns. That is in fact a reasonably solid strategy. They in fact go for a lot of penal troopers, reserve army, and then once you begin fighting, pop rapid conscription, get a lot of conscripts, and equip those with submachine guns. So if LimaOscarMike plays his cards correctly there, he could suddenly get himself a sizable assault force to pressure Henkajumper with. More pioneers there. But no sign of any caches. There we got another MG42 there out for Henkajumper and the 62nd Infanterie Division. More any bunkers. He's also got a bit of missions himself, so he could also do something with that. Seems like here Lom is setting up for an attack on the centre against Henkajumper and the 62nd Infantry. So engineers fully wiped here. Flamethrower drop. An amazing hit there from the Panzer IV. LimaOscarMike getting to bleed out. He really might want to consider using rapid conscription soon enough. He really might want to begin considering it. Quick barrage here against the German positions. Panzer Grenadier down to 1 and forced away. We've got Panzer rolling up the eastern side here. Needs to be careful not to get too close there. Needs to be careful not to get too close. Henkajumper, foresight. 600 munitions. Come on, LimaOscarMike, use those munitions. Pioneers there taking a hit from the T-34 just to try to grab the flamethrower. Would have been funny just as they grabbed it, they got wiped themselves. That would have been rather ironic. Finding in the west there, we got machine guns, Ostrom and these pushing in there. Penal troops also running into the scene. Give Henkajumper a bit of a hard time. We also got the T-Fit forming in support here. Pimps was out in the open as the MD42. Quick and suppressed with Pioneer supporting in. Henkajumper's eastern forces are rather passive. I think could be a lot more active here versus Lum on the eastern side. Rather than you achieving nothing, for example, with that Panzer IV. We got a Stug on the way for Henkajumper here to help deal with the threat of armour there from Lum. Definitely not a bad idea. Definitely not a bad idea. He could still, build a cache, maybe two, and LimaOscarMike could still, spend a ton of munitions. Which is why we're going here for the Katyusha rocket launcher. He cancels it for another T-34, but still no munitions whatsoever. I definitely feel that is a bit of a mistake there by him. Floating that many munitions without really trying to actively utilise them again. Mines, a lot of mines here. Possible, or again, rapid conscription for just Ostrom within a lot of submachine guns. There's certainly enough something to be doing there. T-34 number 2 halfway done. Ostrom forced off the field, and we got the Stug 3G arriving there for Henkajumper and the 62nd Infanterie Division. Late war German infantry divisions would usually had some kind of tank destroyer company, either Martyrs or Stugs, or for that matter Hetzers. Usually the Stugs were given them if they couldn't get Hetzers. Guderian though would have preferred if he actually just handed out the Stugs to the infantry divisions as support there, since they were, rather flexible, and essentially that was why he grabbed the Hetzer 4. Since it was pretty much just a Stug based on a Czechoslovakian chassis. That's a fun note there. Armour switching towards the east there. Quick switch there against the Henkajumper. I think that's a really good move there. Again, try not to get bogged down in one spot too long, allowing his opponents to set up preparation for that. We got the Panther, the quick reactions to it. T-34 bit on zone, forced to fall back. Still floating a ton of munitions. He's almost at 700 munitions. LimaOscarMike, spend it, please. Please. Lom, spend those munitions. Please. Pumes are being flanked with MD42 Condisi in the west. Calf point being hit here by Henkajumper as well. Very good. He's also starting to float munitions, but nowhere near as much as LimaOscarMike, who's also filling about man-pound fuel there. Could definitely stand to do something with it, but 700 munitions! Come on, LimaOscarMike! Spend it. Spend it. Push towards west there. Pan's going to be supported by a few lonely Ostrom. Allowing the Panzer to close in. Gain virtually 3, at which point they can just demolish the penal troops at close range here. Tearing them apart with well-placed bursts. Lost the Stug here. That was definitely not a good move there by Henkajumper. Bit of waste there. Almost got the Russian arm there. Go get the T-34, annihilating it. He's spending munitions somewhere, but not rapid conscription, that's for sure. Not rapid conscription. Looks like he was tracking. More Panzer Grenadier, having lost the previous squad, quite a loss there. Though he is getting close to the target, does overall seem to be aiming for the Tiger tank now. LimaOscarMike, or Lom, in the meanwhile, is seeming rather adamant in his distaste for munitions expenditures. He seems very reluctant to spend munitions if possible.
We have been assigned fresh Panzer Grenadiers.
Still, Henkajumper's got a lot of infantry. LimaOscarMike has some.
Opponents are seizing a sector.
And he's got a ton of munitions. Really, mines are plenty, would do him good. In particular, so he could mine off his cutoff point, as an example. Also noting here that Lom is beginning to really bleed out a victory point, so he does need to change up his tactic here versus Henkajumper before it's too late. Mortar stone here though by LimaOscarMike. Bit of a lost there for Henkajumper. Could be used to lay down smoke screens, which Henkajumper has not utilised it for at all. But if LimaOscarMike displays a bit more sense there, he could certainly punish Henkajumper for that quite aggressively. Push for the Western victory point again here by Henkajumper, and could certainly further increase the bleed there on LimaOscarMike, but then really need to do something about this. And again, spend some munitions and some abilities. He needs to get in there, he needs to get in there aggressively versus Henkajumper and the 62nd Infanterie Division. Otherwise the 75th Rifle Division will be shattered. With the CoH2 barrel on the way here for LimaOscarMike. MG42 finds its bullets doing nothing against the mighty Soviet steel. So that will need to be retreated as well. Austin not be able to do anything against the T-44s either. LimaOscarMike gets 730 munitions. Still a deep ingrained reluctance from him to using them. Going for Panzer Shreks here, as he's trying to buy time there for the Tiger tank. 100 points left there for LimaOscarMike. 100 points left. Got the T-34 rolling backwards. And they can choose a rocket launchers out to support. The 75th Rifle Division is assault here on the positions of the 62nd. Panzer IV is good to go. Took reinforcing healing. Assault gun legendary free. And Panzer going to be there being pursued by the Peons. We've got the 2-2 trying to intercede here, but that's not going to have much of an impact. Henkajumper's got now the fuel for the Tiger tank. He just needs some manpower. And LimaOscarMike is still, you know, floating a ton of munitions. In fact, he's now closing in on 800 munitions. Come on, man. Spend them somehow. Please, I beg of you. Falling back in the center. But keeps up pressure in the east as he tries to sort of stall the bleed here being conducted against him by Henkajumper. Then in the center, CoH2 rockets flying through the sky, and there go T-44 flanking the teams for support. MG42 holding back the infantry, needs to about the Pack 40 here, trying to deal with the tank from the front. He's going to get flanked with the other one though. Direct hit there. Target weak point. Target's a weak point, Helmut. There is it. It's a Russian tank. Anywhere's a weak point. Do you know how they build those things? Not very good. Third T-34 there for LimaOscarMike, but still not a single munition expended. There we go. He's hit 800 munitions. Come on, Lima. Meanwhile, Henkajumper, they're getting closer to the Tiger tank. Need to be careful with his own manpower. In the meanwhile, he wants the Tiger. He needs to be a bit careful there. He's blitzing in the Panzer after the T-34 to finish it off. Bit risky there, but does get it, and leaving a burning hulk of steel. MG42 pioneers lost the penal troopers, the Strafniki, and there he goes, successfully pushed off the field. Casualties piling up. Panzer IV there by very close veteran 2-2. LimaOscarMike now at 830 munitions. Oh god. Ooh. Troops guarding the eastern points. Things with the T-34 moving up there. We got the CoH2 again, ready to unleash hell upon Henkajumper's positions. Got the Panzer IV, they need to turn about front, and there we go. Finally, we got something happening on the munitions. We got rapid conscription activated for LimaOscarMike. They're allowing him to soak up losses and be more aggressive, and of course just uses his munitions more aggressive down the road. Panther needs to get out there, no support for it. Again, it's planned for the Tiger tank, has to reveal a few flaws. He could try and call in Stuka close air support tank to help prevent the T-34 from just closing in. He's about to lose it, and this is why Bauer always keep the front towards the enemy so his opponent can't just get some cheap, easy shots with the T-34 in the first place. Always keep the front towards them. I mean, that was a really big mistake. They just allowed the rear to hang towards the enemy's front line like that. That was a big mistake, I would say, by Henkajumper, and he got punished for it, losing his eventually 2 Panzer IV. Not exactly cheap, plus his Stuka dropped the Stuka close air support ability completely whiffed, costing him 200 munitions without doing anything with it. And he's not been the one floating in attack, so not too good there. But he is getting close to the Tiger tank, which should help him, but hopefully he'll use it a bit better than that Panzer IV got used for that last stretch there. Again, always keep the front towards the enemy's direction. Always. Without fail. Otherwise you get to a situation like these where again you're suddenly forced to run away with a tank that just keeps taking damage. Meanwhile we got the Panzerjägers up here, hunting down the Escalating 6, and there we go, leaves on fire. Relief infantry again there to now replenish all the losses he's suffered. At the same time, of course, LimaOscarMike is doing the same, though it's not quite suffering as much here as Henkajumper. Wipe the Panzerjägers on retreat. Quite a loss there, quite a loss. There you go. Fine, he can call in the Tiger Tank, he does so. You know, it seems like Lom here might have had his first wasted. But honestly, again, with all these munitions, it doesn't matter if he at least ends up wasting some, because, you know, eventually he's going to succeed, and then he's going to have some conscripts and upgrade with some machine guns. All the way Tiger arriving there with his 88mm gun, opening up on the penal troopers and utterly tearing them apart there. T-54, the next target here for the Tiger Tank. Swiftly advancing. SU-5 here room from Lom to counter the Tiger Tank. Very good. Very good. Shot and magnificently missed the T-34. Oh dear, getting surrounded here. Henkajumper pushed a bit too far ahead, but there you go. Tank got stuck in a tree, blocking off its... what the hell is it called? Ramming maneuver. For some reason, just forgot the word. Wow. All right. Penal was going to check for the Tiger Tank here. Machine guns blaring away. Trooping down support to the Tiger Tank here. Henkajumper suddenly realised, of course, he has to support it properly. LimaOscarMike should go for another series of attempted rapid conscription. Got more penal flanking in here against the Tiger. Tiger that turns about, turns, shoots, misses. Holy moly, full wipe there. Just giving the Austral they need to suppose, though, of course, at the expense of a full one there. Still, he's back somewhat with infantry, though it's not going to be infantry that's going to be really good at supporting his tank. They can hold ground, but they can't, you know, support a tank very well, and that's going to be the biggest challenge. Then eventually he will have to go for some better infantry that can support the Tiger Tank better versus LimaOscarMike's infantry. There you go. Rapid conscription again. Hopefully this time with some actual assaults for LimaOscarMike, because if we can get out some conscripts, he'll be in a very strong position with all those submachine guns, and he'll be able to melt away the conscripts. I mean, in that regard, he's sort of got, you know, quick way of punishing Henkajumper if he relies too much on leave infantry to do all the work. But his guys are put down there to 70 victory points. He's got the Tiger coming in the centre. Got another Panther 4 there for Henkajumper. So good. Long getting away from the next big push. Almost at 900 munitions. 900. He definitely needs to do more with his munitions, and should have done more with it. Our 8 Panther almost done there to support the 62nd Infanterie Division. Got the 222 patrolling about here, going for the victory on the west. That's going to force Lom's hand there, because again he's down to 61 victory points. He can't afford to lose any more, and once it hits him, he's sort of going to a bit of a free fall there until he can sort of, you know, contain the situation there. Ostrope now easily dealt with, so in that regard not much of an issue. Again, Henkajumper's going to need more info in that regard, you know, going for the Panzer Grenadiers with the Panther 6 was maybe a bit of a mistake. And there you go. Another round of rapid conscription here versus Henkajumper. 50 points left, pushing up here, push back. Pushing up here as well, taking next from the Tiger. There you go, counter squad out there for LimaOscarMike. Can immediately equip the submachine gun, should do so. Should definitely do so. Tiger gating troops there, pushing them back in the centre. Also doing a bit of extra there to help. There you go, submachine guns for the conscripts. Tiger shoots, misses. We got one T-Fed roaming up the east side here, will be largely unopposed. And there you go, conscript up support there in the wake of the T-Fed force assault. T-Fed roaming up on the west, going to try and hunt down there. 2-2 roaming about like a hungry predator, looking for prey. Marxist prey. In the centre of the penal, they're getting absolutely demolished by the Tiger Tank. There you go, retreat. 5 shoots. Push up here. Straight for the Eastern victory point. There you go, second conscript out here from his rapid conscription. 2-2 managing to avoid. They're not entirely sure what he's doing with it. He seems to be taking it to his opponent's base, looking for easy targets to wipe. Bit risky there, to be honest. Bit risky. More submachine guns there for Lom. Catching them all there with the 2-2. I think he's actually might be losing. No, the Katyusha actually dead. Katyusha is dead. Did Katyusha actually get that? I think so, actually. Got the mortar, but there you go, 85 right in front of it. T-Fed 4 as well. Panther first off. Avoids death by the HG5 at least for now, but there you go, gets stalked on the wreck of the T-54 and gets destroyed. But we got the Tiger tank moving in, turning its turn and taking him with a gun on the HG5. Second hit there from an anti-tank gun, taking it down to half health. Rushing towards the center of the conscripts, now the T-54 was done there. And Lum is sometime off though for the next rapid conscription, which does seem to give him just enough momentum to push ahead against his opponent. Tiger being pushed back, more hits there, need to fix all his armor. In fact, he's got no pioneers though, so Henkajumper is actually in a really terrible position because he's got a lot of damaged armor, but he can't fix it, and he's not been using his relief infantry well either to at least that way, you know, help maintain a frontline presence. So I think he needs to pop it as well here more consistently versus Lum, and Lum probably needs to pop rapid conscription though. We could basically be in a situation where both players are forced to basically use the reserve abilities just quickly flood the field, which would be interesting. But so far, Henkajumper's not utilising it, even when it should be, I think, there. Tiger, Panther forward and repairs. Need to get the pioneers towards it. Oh dear. Nice hit there. Still risking a bit here with his Tiger tank. Even if it's an easy target, he never knows what might be nearby. But there you go. T-54 does go up in flames, so the crew annihilated. Still no relief into the Henkajumper and no rapid conscription from LimaOscarMike pushing towards center. Also, they need to fall back. T-54 wing got the Pack 40 crew with a single hit there. There you go, Vetching to the T-54 Tiger tank blitzing away just to be sure. Oh, he's going to try and ram it. He's going to try and ram it. Engine is looking to be giving out there right in front of the Tiger tank. Very lucky there for Henkajumper. Very lucky we got the HG5 moving up. It's half health here. Could try and call in air support. Got the T-54, but needs to prioritise fixing the Tiger up. And get both his pioneers on it, and again, relief. Infantry Henkajumper, come on. Oh dear. Almost got it. Missed it. And then troops pushing in there to flank Henkajumper's forces. Tiger being repaired as a priority, good. Come on, relief infantry Henkajumper, you got it, you used it before. Use it again because you barely got any troops and you just need something out fast. Could also consider an Austrian to help deal with those infantry. We definitely need to. There we go. Rapid conscription again for the third. Rapid conscription, relief infantry. Rapid conscription is LimaOscarMike's ability, and he could of course also consider that one. 37 points left here for LimaOscarMike, getting very close versus Henkajumper. That is for him losing because Henkajumper's got a fat lead here with 326 victory points. That is being cut down now here. Another mortar out for Henkajumper. More artillery support. And these were the submachine gun conscripts, and they're still losing out here at close range. But the submachine gun building conscripts do have the advantage. It was a bit close. Splitting up the pioneers is definitely a mistake there by Henkajumper. Should be focusing down one tank at a time, and the Tiger tank is the best choice, so you can that way get them faster back into action. That definitely does not feel very efficient there to me. 900 munitions again. LimaOscarMike could easily benefit from a ton of mines. You know, mines here, mines there, mines everywhere. I mean, there's no reason not to, you know, lay down a lot of mines when you got 900 munitions. Also, I'm straight into the penal troopers there. Not a winning engagement. Got the Panther 4 Rhino, got a T-54 moving in as well. Tiger tank. He's not getting additional pioneer support, even if the Panther 4's moving ahead. And there you go, Pack 40 lands a nice hit there for Germany. Das Vaterland. Tiger tank almost good to go. Almost. Heading up the eastern victory point. And penal troopers moving westwards. Bit quiet here. Come on, LimaOscarMike, you're about to hit 1,000 munitions. There you go, the attack on the eastern victory point here, down to this, and again, he really wants to stall it. Interesting enough, Henkajumper's not putting more pressure on the western side. In fact, I don't even think he's even remotely at one point hit LimaOscarMike's fuel. So it definitely feels like something there Henkajumper could have done a lot better. He's lost a machine gun in the centre. I think, there you go, Pims was flanking, doing some nasty work there. Tiger taking the back on the move, close to Veteran 2. Should be able to deal with him there. There we go. Almost wiping out the entire unit, and the Gandisi looks set to finish them off. And annihilated. More rapid description here from LimaOscarMike. HU5 versus Tiger. Shoots and gains ready to increase range, increased accuracy. Penetrating hit leader from the HU5. Conscript pushing into the Ostrom, the Grenadiers. Losses piling up as they charge forward through the broken territories. We can do this, Petrov. Oh, you're not Petrov. Нет, he got killed. There you go, getting absolutely demolished with mortar and Tiger tank fire here. Ostrom wiped out, or was the Grenadiers? Actually, it was Grenadiers. That was his last remaining Grenadier squad. He's now just down to Ostrom, Pioneers, and support weapons alongside his tanks. LimaOscarMike getting more conscripts.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Going for the center victory point again. 27 points left there for LimaOscarMike. Tiger there landing more hits, forcing back the Engineers, almost annihilating them with its 88mm shell. Pack 45 unit support from the across the road. The return punch here for the HU5 now with his Tiger. Lost his mortar to enemy mortar fire. Not good there for Henkajumper for sure. And the Tiger will under fire. Fixing up the Panzer IV as well. Ostrom trying to block the pot from secured here. ND42 setting up as well. HU5 moving ahead. He should try and flank, or either of them should try and flank the other fellow, I would say. Continue to fight over the center point there. Tiger tank with 29 kills. Conscript being suppressed. The East Panzer IV trying to flank here. Hit the pack by the river side, but there's the Panzer IV covering that side. And there you go. The Pumas was pushed back. The right tank in the right place can make all the difference. There you go, Panzer IV being focused down though, as it is on its own largely, so that was a good prioritization there by LimaOscarMike, rather than just continuing to pour men into the Meatgrinder in the centre. He instead tries to look for easy targets on the eastern side. He's down to 15 points here versus Henkajumper, 15 points left. Almost got the counter there with his Tiger tank. Oh! He's about to get the T-34. Oh, the Panther IV misses. The T-34 rams it. That was also, by the way, the slowest ramming I've ever seen. Be careful, Petrov. Yes. What is going on? I think they're trying to ram us, Jürgen. But his tank actually got immobilized. It's actually a bit rare to see a Panther IV or tank nowadays being immobilized when being rammed. But that actually happened here. That's a bit of bad luck for Henkajumper. That's it. Air support called in here. Still 15 points left. He can't use relief. There you go. HU5 destroyed by it. And his Panther IV destroyed as well. So I'm not entirely sure what did it in. Was it the mortar? What destroyed the Panther IV? I have no idea. Like, there were only engineers there. So unless he destroyed it himself, which would be completely insane, I don't know what did it there. He should use the Indonesia to mine up the point or lay down some demo charges. Fast. Tiger tank though continue to fire away there. 32 kills for the fatherland. Constant rushing in with anti-tank grenades. Good work. Damaging the engine of the Tiger tank. Ostrom wiped out. The casualties keep piling up there for Henkajumper again. They can hold ground to an extent, but they're not very good at attacking infantry. And now we can see LimaOscarMike with 4 conscript squads, all with submachine guns. And they're giving a lot of offensive firepower. This is sort of the strength of the reserve army. Down the road, you can just toss out a lot of conscripts with a lot of submachine guns, and just that way just brute force your opponent down if he's not careful. Pumas was there in the centre, in a desperate defence of the central victory point, fighting to avoid it falling into the hands of the fascists. We got more rapid conscription here from it. Henkajumper go for relief infantry again. Should do so. He should definitely do so. And he should also call in some... I think an Osprey just help deal with all this infantry, to be honest. Or not the Panther IV at the very least. But he definitely needs to spend his resources as well. Come on, Henkajumper. Relief infantry. Oh dear, he's not doing it. And certainly if he is doing it, he's doing it too late here. There we go. He passed relief infantry too late. He would easily have, at least 2 Ostrom squads marked here by now. But instead he's not going to have any of that, so definitely feels inefficient there. More conscripts pouring out for LimaOscarMike there. He's heading into like 5 conscript squads. Also a lot easier to keep alive than say all of those Ostrom. Going for the mortar to silence that one, if he can. The only battle, his Tiger's not been upgraded with machine guns, which would help it a bit. There you go, mortar crew wiped. Continuing to sort of deny the point there. Tiger point blank should be able to get a good hit. There we go. Still no additional Ostrom. Oh, there you go. Ostrom's brought out. Need to retreat here from the centre. He's lost everything. Big 47, 130 here versus LimaOscarMike's 15. Penal troopers moving in there. 37 kills for the motherland. Pack forward in a bad position there. Tiger needs to know about to deal with it. Lack of machine gun is not helping. Half base of actually 3. Penal troopers negative cover versus the Tiger tank. There we go. Good hit. Half the unit wiped, but the Pack 40 is also wiped. He's going to satchel it. He's going to deny it here to Henkajumper and the 62nd Infanterie Division. Osman on the way here. Conscripts, everything else rushing it. Pack 40 destroyed. Anti-tank grenades flying and pelting the front of the Tiger tank. Got a T-34, they're going for it. Tiger gets off a hit, but needs more support there. Troops being demolished here in the centre. 100 points left here. More Ostrom out. Osman almost done there as well for Henkajumper. He needs to also hit the other point, but it seems like overall Henkajumper just got hit by Stalingrad syndrome and just over-focused on the centre victory point, while again neglecting any other half of the map there. I mean, LimaOscarMike to an extent also did it, but he's to an extent displayed a bit better sort of grasp on the fact there are other victory points for the central one. Need to fix the Tiger. 73 points left here for Henkajumper. Tiger receiving most needed emergency repairs. Rather rough time there for Henkajumper. He was looking so well, but ultimately fumbled a bit there. Another T-34 for LimaOscarMike. Now has 6 conscript squads. Now trying to hit all the victory points. And we got another rapid conscription there for LimaOscarMike. Need to cover the Osman. It's not a tank, even if it's a flak panzer, it is still pretty much primarily meant for shooting at infantry and anti-aircraft. Target tank good to go there. Very close for it to defeat, to be honest. Very close. And if you can hit that, that might actually give him a chance here to just further cement anything, because it's going to have such a high rate of fire. And good mobility. Tiger misses though. The T-34 blitzing ahead there. Good hit there. Osman also firing away. Need to be careful a bit to an extent. There's a chance he makes a mistake there up close. And there you go. Almost got the T-34. Another T-34 going. Tiger tank re-exposed. Osman there. Ran by the T-34. Taken out here. Conscripts charging at the Tiger tank. Troops planking up behind the mortars and machine guns in the centre. Very good work there by LimaOscarMike. Very good work. Troop charging to the centre victory point there. Tiger moving about here. More conscripts arriving. 49 kills. 7 conscripts. If not... oh well, more. And in the end though, LimaOscarMike ends up losing due to victory points. A very close and brutal fight of attrition here between these two players. But in the end, LimaOscarMike was a bit too slow to getting going. I mean, ultimately Henkajumper's late game was really weak due to having only Osman to rely on. Again, a bit of mistakes there, not preserving his infantry. But he still had such an early lead there that LimaOscarMike couldn't really get back. Now, the issue for LimaOscarMike was a bit what Henkajumper's issue was in the late game. He focused too much in the centre. As the late game went on, he was sort of better controlling the rest of the map, but he couldn't really hold on. And there's also the big mistake of just not using the bloody munitions. He would have done tons of mines and demo charge, you know, more rapid conscription. That's really the issue for LimaOscarMike. There's just this huge munitions hump he just never used until like the very last moments of the game, like when he actually got desperate enough. And that, I think, you know, just really undercut LimaOscarMike's, you know, overall chances. Plus, he could use smoke on his mortar. He stole from his opponent, flanked a bit more. But again, he was sort of getting into the swing it by the late game, by the sort of last moments here. But again, the problem was it was too late that he finally sort of caught on there. Henkajumper, on the other hand, should have been a bit sharp by the late game. He could have lost there had the, you know, LimaOscarMike not had to run out of victory points. You know, had he, you know, displayed a better grasp of the map and also hit his opponent more on the west there properly, I think it would have stood a much better chance. There's some issues there on both players' sides, even despite being top 50. Roughly top 50 players. So certainly some improvements there for both sides. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, one, subscribe to your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in replay and some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dancing Cheese. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow for another Sunday episode. Bye.